What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? I don't know how formal I need to be in this. Hey, y'all, I'm Andrew, and I have been documenting my Orangetheory journey on YouTube for like the past 7 years, and it wasn't until recently that I figured out how to make Orangetheory really work for me, you know, to get the maximum results out of it, and I ended up losing like over 60 pounds, and I documented everything into a documentary called Becoming Not Fat, and it's actually out now. You can check it out. It's in the link in the description or probably up here in the cards. For the 3 people that don't know, Latham is the creator of Orangetheory, and she's a queen. She is, she's responsible for obviously a lot of the success because she created the workout that got me here. So today we're actually gonna get a chance to talk with her. She is at the headquarters in Boca Raton, Florida, and I am going to Zoom her right now and we're gonna talk. Hopefully you leave this so motivated that you can run through a wall. That's essentially, I think, the concept behind this is to just get super inspired by Ellen. So let's get super inspired by Ellen. Hey, Ellen.
Hey, this is much better.
Oh, you look great. You look amazing.
I said, don't call on me without getting a blowout, honey.
Oh my God, I'm so glad this is being recorded so I can just play that again and again.
I'm telling you,
That's
create that youthfulness, fountain of youth.
It's Orangetheory. I found it at Orangetheory, to be honest with you. So I know that, like, for me, self-love and confidence, those were things that I had to work on. Like, those are things that just, they did not come prepackaged with the success that I was having in Orangetheory, in the gym, or, you know, with my scale even. So do you have a time like that too, where like you had to really gather your self-love and confidence and earn that and kind of feel that, or did you always have that?
Well, you know, I talk about my father a lot, and I always say that for little girls, their first love is their father, and that was definitely true for me. And he was bigger than life. He was a football coach, a phys ed teacher, so he was physically bigger than life, and he was emotionally for me bigger than life. So he built that up in me at a young age. So I was very fortunate about that. It's important first to maybe realize that you need maybe a little bit more of that going on in your life. And I think support is huge. So if it's not your parent, it could be a friend, it could be a coach at Orangetheory, it could be anyone like that in a supportive nature that you'd have these conversations. Making me think about a friend of mine who she went through a lot of tough things. And we would talk a lot. She would just want to talk. And she said, I just like talking to you because you make me feel special and loved. And I said, really? My goodness, you are special. You've got incredible things about you. And she didn't feel that. So it was just those lunches, those cups of coffee, that type of thing, that every once in a while, you know, you're free for a cup of coffee, whatever. That support that maybe you could be for someone, maybe someone could be for you, you'd be surprised how that it just is incredible.
Absolutely. And you get what you give, right? So you be that person first, and the universe will provide you with a person like that too. That's what I think.
I believe that wholeheartedly. I'm a big one in believing in manifestation, that you manifest. You know, we talk about the human brain and, you know, neuroplasticity and the wiring in our brain and this type of thing. And I truly believe that, you know, that's why mantras and all of that are so big, messaging, write it down, things like that, because I think you can manifest things. Listen, this is stuff we have to work on all the time. Yeah. You know, it's like exercise. Like you say, you can't just, okay, I did it for a month, I'm feeling good, I lost a few pounds I want, and you stop. It's like that emotionally and mentally for us as well, right?
It's two separate journeys, really. They like, I feel like they meet at times, but you really got to work on both at the same time.
You got to work on both. You just said it. You have to continually work on both.
And that's so important too. Like the mental health aspect of it, I guess, is a good tie into that, because that is what you take with you afterwards. You do the physical part in Orangetheory, and then the rest of the day, it's all mental and kind of, you know, having to pull yourself through mentally. So do you have a relationship with seeing fitness and mental health like converge in your own life?
Absolutely. It has to be that. You know, there's something called neuroplasticity. But this is what you see. Years ago, scientists thought that the human brain was a rigid organ and it wasn't adaptable or couldn't be reprogrammed. Well, guess what? We found in research it can. It's like a computer. You can go in there and reprogram. This is an important aspect because if you feel, I could afford a little rewiring, Ellen, you can do that. And how you rewire is you just have to believe in your potential. You don't have to believe like how to get there. So for example, when I started Orangetheory with my partner, it was like, what do we do now? Okay, we're starting a franchise. How do we do this? There was a lot that had to be figured out, but there wasn't a day that went by that myself and Dave Long and Jerome Kern, my partners, didn't believe in the potential.
In my own therapy, we talk about building new neural pathways and how your brain is just going down the one it knows over and over, but you have to eventually, like, the more behavior you change, the more like it'll start to go on that new pathway. So,
and that's why our language with our coaches is so important. When I talk to coaches, I say your words create an action and an action creates an attitude. So your words, if they're very, Andrew's going, I'm not performing well today, I can't do it. And they're, fine, Andrew, just do the best you can, and that creates an action. You start, anxiety starts, your shoulders drop another inch, and you just continue with class with a different attitude, and that creates a whole attitude of how you have toward Orangetheory. So it's so important that our words, not only to ourselves for our rewiring, but our coaches at Orangetheory, that's something I talk about all the time. I want a fitness brand that your words create actions and attitude. So please be careful of those words coming out of your mouth. Make sure they're very, very encouraging to that member.
The Orangetheory coaches, the things that they have told me, Coach Vinny, for example, I haven't taken one of his classes since I lived in Seattle, and I still carry the words that he taught me, and things that they share just in the little moments in between the pushes and the all outs, the little things that they say. It's like we really do stick with that. Like we really do take that, you know? And yeah, but I have tons of coaches that have given me little nuggets of wisdom and things that I just take with me, and it slowly like builds me a new pathway, you know, a new way of thinking about fitness and a new way of thinking about myself and working out. And yeah, so I totally agree. I think like with ups and downs too, you have to really keep what you're saying. You got to really watch it then too, because I feel like that's a crucial time to, especially when you're down, to like pull yourself back up. Like it takes a lot of mental inner work to do that. Have you had like a fitness down, like a time where you really had to pull yourself up with your fitness, with your relationship to exercise?
Yeah, you know, interestingly enough, I think the consistency of how I was coaching, instructing exercise over the 50 plus years made it so those were few and far between. Now, as a coach and instructor, you innately know you have this crowd of people coming in for you. So I maybe didn't think about it a lot, but it's kind of a built-in motivation of, okay, I'm tired this morning. I can't believe I didn't sleep well last night, this and that. Boom, the music hits, I'm on. So I guess my advice to someone would be develop relationships in your class. If you do the 5 a.m. and you know Joe's in there and Betty's in there and you guys are in there 5 o'clock every Monday morning and you have this relationship, you start like, I don't want to disappoint Joe, I better get up, let's go. He's going to be there this morning. Or you even say, you know, you're going to be there today, right? It's kind of like pressure I put on myself of I had to show up to instruct or teach. That helps tremendously.
Oh, absolutely. And I always, people will ask me like, how do I make friends in Orangetheory? I'm like, just give them a wipe, like one of the wipes to do your, it's like a good like starter, you know? And then you can take it from there, like, when are you coming back? You know, like I see you here often. Okay, so I gotta know. So if, let's say someone did not grow up doing sports, they didn't grow up with any athletic people in their family, they didn't have a dad like yours, or they didn't have people like good influences in their life to keep them, you know, working out. So now they're in adulthood and they're like, just like that, I need to put on muscle. I need to have stability in my life as I get older. Like, what would you say to somebody starting out that they maybe have not already heard? Like something that that would flip that light switch. I don't know, everybody's different, but I mean, what would you say?
2 words, baby steps. What happens, especially with exercise, you go into a studio, you took a class, you look around, and there's Joe Atlas' body over there, and there's a girl over there that's like, woof. Then you join, and you start a couple times a week, 2-3 times a week. 3 or 4 weeks go by, and you're like looking in the mirror, and you're like, I don't look like Joe yet. Or you got to understand, those kind of rapid kind of results are not why you're doing this. But we look for these grandioso, type things happening, and then we're disappointed. And then we don't want to continue to do the work.
Yeah.
We find it's easier to quit than be more disappointed. So, and like I say, it's for anything, but I find this in exercise in the many decades I've been doing it with many people. Well, Ellen, it didn't work. No, it works. If it's a decent exercise, and I'm not just saying it's got to be Orangetheory, if it's a decent exercise, it works for so many things. Let me sit down with you and go through the list. It's just, you're looking for these big grandioso things to occur. But this is, again, something everyone can do. Baby steps in every aspect of your life, and acknowledge them and go, well done, Andrew. Well done, Ellen.
That's the neural pathways, right? Like you're building a new way of looking at fitness, and it takes maybe a minute, especially if you haven't had the foundation before. Like, you're gonna have to like carve out a new neural pathway that eventually your brain will choose. But yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely rewiring how you think of like baby steps and baby wins, and just like stacking those.
Absolutely. And, we try to create that encouraging environment. It's so funny, when I sat down with Dave and Jerome in the early days, and we were talking about names and this and that, and I said, I just don't want to call it any kind of boot camp, because go back now in early 2000, they were about, you're not doing enough. Andrew, give me 10 more. I don't like how you did those, or this and that. It was a mentality in fitness I didn't particularly love. So when I created this, I remember having those conversations with coaches and those who train our coaches and this and that. Please make sure that member knows we're going to meet them wherever they are. Make sure all of those individuals coming in know we're meeting you with where you're at. There is no pressure to be anything beyond where you're at. Improve to the next best you, go back to the next best you, stay there for as long as you need, then become a little bit better of the next best you. And that's how I wanted this to be, because I saw so many people in the many years that I taught group fitness that wouldn't walk in the room. I call them the women on the other side of the glass. So because I taught aerobics and step and all these, there was the aerobics studio, the glass studio. And I had all of the perfect bodies and the fit women and all of this, with the stylish exercise clothes. And I'd see the women I call them the other side of the glass women. Mm-hmm. And I'd see them, and they didn't have the perfect body. And they probably didn't feel they were as skilled as coming in that room and keeping up. And it bothered me. Bothered me. And I would talk to them, come in, try, just... And maybe I'd talk a few in, and they'd run in the back row in the corner, and they wouldn't stay. Because, everyone was stepping at a certain pace, and they couldn't keep up. Yeah. And I swore when I created this workout, there was going to be a space for the woman on the other side of the glass. That could be a book. The woman on the other side of the glass.
Beautiful. I think that's so beautiful. I love that.
I swear I thought about that.
Well, I think people connect with Orangetheory, and especially with you, is because there's that heart behind it. It's not just get in, get fit, get out. Like there's more to it. It's like it's a deeper connection that you build, and I think that is something that's one thing I wanted to ask you too, because I feel like the people on the other side of the glass, because Orangetheory does have some studios have some glass where you can see in, and I feel like it's getting in there to just like even inquire about a membership or sign up for that free class? Like, what would you tell somebody? So they're sitting in their car, they're watching this right now. They are mortified to go in there. They just cannot pull themselves to do it. They have Ellen in their ear. What do you say?
You're going to tell them, you tell them, I'm petrified. She totally gets that, and she designed it for the people on the other side of the glass, the people just like me, and that the coach is going to take care of me. And if that's walking very slowly, if it's maybe not even staying the whole hour, I'm going to stay 20 minutes, a half hour. And I have had individuals tell me they did this, and not one of them said they left the 20 minutes after. But because I gave them an out, because I told them, you go in and you said, Ellen said, if I'm, 20 minutes or, a half hour, if I feel that's enough, I come out, just so no one's like, I'm not stirring any, this and that. No one's not stayed the hour. So that's what I would say to them. So those of you sitting in the car, Ellen Latham, you walk in, throw my name around, and you say that Ellen said, I don't need to be afraid. I'll be met with where I'm at, and I can do how much I can do, and if I need to leave early, I can, and blame it all on me.
Exactly. I love that. I think that's literally perfect. People can just replay that over and over whenever they need that. I love that. Okay, it's interesting that you talk about people on the other side of the glass having like the perfect bodies and the fit bodies, but I've gone into Orangetheory with an extra 60 pounds on me. So everybody in that class, whether they realized it or not, had a perfect body to me, and they were all intimidating to me. But I feel like it's the misconception that people are watching you, and that's one thing that I try to tell people all the time. I'm like, no one is watching you. The coach is to so just confirm or deny. Like as a fitness professional, even yourself, like you're at the peak. Are you watching the new people and judging them? Like people need to know that that's not
No
real.
one in that group is watching you. It's a 3-ring circus in there. If you are so occupied with, where am I? I've got 10 more seconds on this push. I've got to go from here over to the weights to this and that. It doesn't occur, believe me. And like you say, the coach is trying to keep a rapid eye on just being able to correct form, give you good advice, so on and so forth. But this is probably one of the rare type of group workouts that no one in the class could care less what you're doing. They're too occupied themselves.
It's so true. It is so true. And I think that's everyone's number one fear is like, oh my God, like everyone's going to be staring at me doing these exercises wrong. And I'm like, I'm trying to do the exercise right myself. And I've been coming for like 7 years. So I'm still focused on me. So don't feel like, I think it's a misconception that people have going in, but.
And listen, that's all of our, egos and all of those things inside of us. That's very normal. That's very, very normal. But please know. And if you have weird things about you don't want your name up on the board, you can create a fictitious name. You know what I mean? Yeah, you don't have to be like Andrew. You could be, curly hair or something. You can, and you just tell them this is what you want to be labeled at if you have any of those strange feelings. But yeah.
Okay, so my last question is, and I won't name names because we're not going to be messy on this, but I know that there's some businesses popping up, some studios popping up that look very familiar to Orangetheory. You look at them, and I'm in a lot of groups on Facebook about Orangetheory, and people are like, this looks very similar, like the format, the coach. What keeps Orangetheory the standard? Because at the end of the day, Orangetheory still, it's the one. So what do you think keeps it the standard from competitors and we'll say copycats, I guess is a way to say that, or what do you think keeps it the standard?
There is heart to this. We are called the heart rate based workout. But there is more than just the pounding heart in the workout. There is true heart to how we look at how we're affecting people, we're changing lives, we're saving lives. It's really much more than just the physiology of what's going on. Like I said, it's the real love for what we do. So to me, it's that we really still have that fire in us?
I think that it's the people, right? Like it's the coaches, it's the people, it's the passion.
It is.
I mean, you don't have to convince me. I already know, but I mean, I'm just agreeing with everything you say because I see that and I've lived that myself. But I think this was really cool to hear from you and just to hear from the creator of Orangetheory talk. So you're just so down to earth, and I feel like it just you're very approachable.
I love you. I love that you really were on a bit of a roller coaster. Not that I love that for you, but I'm going to tell you, the roller coaster, just because like the roller coaster in life, which I've been through in my career in different things, personally, in relationship, the roller coaster isn't a bad thing. It's all that, when you let out at the bottom of the roller coaster as you're going you're going, that was great. And that's what happened with you in your roller coaster. You're getting off, unbuckling that, stepping off of the roller coaster, and you're going, you know what, okay. That shook me up a little, but you know what? I'm better right now for that.
I'm obsessed with that. That is the I'm about to cry. That is so sweet. And I love how you package that up because we talk about the roller coaster, but it's the getting off the roller coaster. I'd never put that part together, but that's beautiful.
Well, I love you and continue the great work, and I'm here for you. I'm going to text Ellen. I need a motivational word.
I have your number. I still have your number. I'm never deleting it.
I know that, so don't feel that you cannot. Ellen, I need you this morning. Give me 5 words. I won't bother you. I'll give them to you. I'm there for you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ellen.
Okay, sweetie. Take care.